Clinton now telling the world what it was like to take on President Trump in her new memoir, What Happened? Or, as I say, what happened? In newly released excerpts from the book, she details personal thoughts about key moments in her campaign, including her feelings about the second presidential debate in St. Louis.
He followed me closely, staring at me, making faces. It was incredibly uncomfortable. He was literally breathing down my neck. My skin crawled. What would you do? Do you stay calm, keep smiling, and carry on as if he weren't repeatedly invading your space? Or do you turn, look him in the eye, and say loudly and clearly, "Back up, you creep"?
Let's bring in former Hillary Clinton Director of Rapid Response, Zac Petkanas, and former Trump surrogate and former Republican National Convention Deputy Press Secretary Erin Elmore. Zac, I'm going to start with you first on this.
Sure.
She sounds very subdued in this audio version. She had to be more angry. I'm assuming that in the actual audio version, she's going to be fired up about this.
Well, look, I mean, I think she explains this within the excerpt. I mean, she is calm, she is cool, she is collected. This is how she has always operated. And I think what you hear, even within this audio excerpt, is that she kind of wishes that she was less calm, less cool, less collected during this debate, and saying what certainly I was screaming when I was watching the debate in the war room from the campaign headquarters, and when I think women across the country were screaming, "Back off, you creep." You know, I think it's important to remember that this debate happened a couple days after we first learned about that Hollywood
the Access Hollywood tape.
You know, where we learned that he admitted to be a serial sexual assaulter. And
well, that's not what he said in the tape, Zac. That's not. He was making comments to Billy Bush. He didn't admit to that, and he was throwing out.
Now he said that women like to be grabbed when you were a celebrity.
But I want to focus on Hillary Clinton, because Erin, when I listened to this, it sounds like this is one of the central issues of her campaign, is that she struggled to be herself, or that the American people, or at least voters, weren't sure who she really was, because she was so guarded, and she was basically focus grouping every action and reaction she had on the campaign trail.
Right. In this clip you just played, she sounds like an absolute robot, and I think that's what the American people saw. Moreover, she's so worried about Donald Trump. If she wants to be the president of the United States, she's going to deal with many, many, many difficult, tough, and potentially creepy men. So giddy up, Hillary Clinton. Moreover, there are so many problems with the Democratic Party right now. Instead of worrying about this, she should be trying to rebuild the Democratic Party. Right now, there is no voice of the Democratic Party. Look what happened just this summer with the special elections. Democrats out-fundraised all of the Republicans, and they went 0-4. The Republicans took all 4 special elections. Right now, who does the party have? They have Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Bernie Sanders. These people just aren't going to cut the mustard. So what she should be out there doing is being a face of the party, trying to unify the party. But instead, she's pushing her own agenda and reliving the past election. And you know what? November of 2016, the outcome isn't going to change. Donald J. Trump became the president. She should start realizing, maybe it was my general unlikability, or maybe it was my basket of deplorables comment that didn't get me elected, instead of blaming everyone else and every other thing. Well,
she does take blame. She in the excerpts that are out, she is kind of coming to accept what really happened and taking some personal blame. But I want to listen to this, because Zac touched on this, about her regret about staying calm.
Maybe I have overlearned the lesson of staying calm, biting my tongue, digging my fingernails into a clenched fist, smiling all the while, determined to present a composed face to the world.
One thing that jumped out at me, another comment that she made, Zac, and I'm curious to get Heather's reaction too, that she talks about, this is, I kept my cool, a lifetime of dealing with men trying to throw me off. I kept my cool, aided by a lifetime of dealing with men to throw me off. When I read that, I thought about her husband, actually, of all that this woman had to put up with. And I think that she might have resonated with women better if she had been a little more forthcoming. But then she was in this difficult position because people still like Bill.
Yeah, I mean, I personally didn't take it that it was Bill Clinton. I mean, if you look at her history, both in the Senate, I mean, which she has talked about in the past, and her time as First Lady dealing with members of Congress on the Hill. I mean, she has a history of being talked down to, a history of sometimes not being taken seriously, a history of men being intimidated by her and lashing out. And she has talked about this a lot. And I think that her experience. I mean, women would speak better to me, well, but I think her experience, you know, is something that a lot of women can relate to, you know. But women jump in.
I'm Heather, just please get in here. I'm curious what you think.
The only time I've ever been intimidated was by Ken Langone, who went into one of his tirades, but he intimidates men too with these things. So it turned out it's not about.
I think Ken Langone is a big teddy bear.
Until he turns on his, you know, fury, windmills going at 6'5". But